Today we're going to cover block printed t-shirts. I'm a big fan of block printed t-shirts. I'm a big fan of doing linoleum printmaking in general. So when the two come together, they are quite nice. You can take a look at that. It looks dope. I mean, that's all really any reason you need to make this. It looks good. There's something about printing your linoleum print on fabric that just makes it look much better. I think it's the fact that it's more dimensional because it curves around your body, or the fact that, you know, someone out there in the world is wearing your clothes that you made. There's something awesome about that. So that is what we're going to do today. First thing you want to worry about is what you're printing on. So there's several things you can print on that range from any sort of t-shirt material, jeans, denim, but you want to look for cotton. Cotton's really important to this process. You can print on polyester blends, that's fine, but it holds better longer on cotton. Now what I'm doing right now is I'm making my life a little bit easier. I'm putting a board that's cut to 16 by 20 inside the t-shirt to help hold it in place. It's also going to prevent the ink from going onto the back as it prints through the shirt. Now I'm laying this down as flat as I can. The reason I'm doing that is any sort of wrinkle is going to ruin your print, your shirt, the board, everything. Because remember, we print at a lot of pressure here, right? So make sure it's nice and smoothed out. You're probably going to need to loosen your pressure up a little bit since you have that board inside your paper. Do it to whatever seems like it's good. Important thing to note, the first time you do this, you're probably going to ruin the shirt. So inking up is a little bit different than I showed you in my last video. Inking up is more based around absorption. You need to absorb into the cloth. And the way that this works is by just using a little bit more ink. You're going to over ink it quite a bit. You can hear that? Hear that texture? That's nice. But it needs to be a little bit thicker than you normally would ink up with. You can see the texture of it kind of sticking off on the roll. The reason why is when you print on a t-shirt, it absorbs into the cotton, it absorbs into the fabric. Remember, when you print on paper, generally it dries through evaporation, so you don't need as much ink whenever you're printing on paper. That could also be not true at all, but that's just what my teacher told me. All right, for printing, you really need to believe in yourself. You get one shot at this. Try to line it up as best as you can. We're putting it face downwards instead of face up. And wherever it goes, is where it goes. Either it's straight or it's straight, it's crooked. There's other registration tools you could probably do to make your life easier on this, but honestly, just go for it. If it feels like it's going to be crooked, you own a crooked shirt now, and it's okay. No one really cares about that. They just go, hey, Kevin over there is real cool with his own custom t-shirt, and then you as Kevin are like, yes, I am. So go ahead and tuck in some of the bulk of that. You don't want to lay it over the block necessarily. Go ahead and put the board and the blanket right on top of it like you did before. Make sure you get a good shot of your man bun from above and crank it through the press. A reminder, as always, don't stick your hand inside the barrel of the press. It will crush your fingers and probably ruin your life. Something I'm doing differently right here is I'm actually going backwards through the press again to get double the amount of pressure on it. It always looks a little bit better, but it could just be a little bit of a superstition thing. That's just what I've always done. So you might as well do what I do. I look like I got things together pretty well. And look at that. You did a great job, me. You can pull the board out and use it immediately on another shirt. In fact, let's see what that looks like again. So the block goes face down. You tuck the bulk of the shirt inside. Crank it through the press. Back it through the press. And then give it a quick pull. And look at you. You did it again. This can become pretty easy. I recommend doing multiple shirts whenever you're printing, because it can It's easy once you have the ink out for it. Any oil-based ink really works. I was using Speedball's fabric ink, but any oil-based ink should technically work. Some of them last longer than others. Give them a week to dry. You can give them 3 days to dry, 2 days, whatever works, as long as it doesn't come off on your finger. Now this is the brutal part of all this. Ironing. I hate it. You need to heat set the ink into it once it's dry. And you're going to do it as long as you really feel like necessary. Someone would probably tell me you're supposed to do it for like 2 minutes total. I don't know. I always just do it for like till it feels hot. And that's really it. Fold it up, go give it to your best friend, or wear it yourself, and you're done. Now, whenever you wash these, it's important to turn them inside out. I also recommend that to any shirt you own, honestly. Now, right here, if you feel the ink still be a little bit wet, come off on your finger, just put a piece of newsprint down. Maybe iron it a little bit longer. I don't know. It's like really not that big of a deal. Have fun.